let's not forget the players are voting, right? Obviously,
Yes.
having Josh Allen number 3, the players are giving Josh Allen his due respect. And I always say this, when two guys are at the top, I'm pretty confident that most NFL players looked at both of these players and said, who do I put ahead of who? Josh or Lamar?
Yeah. Okay.
You know what they say? Man, did they have a head-to-head in the regular season? Did they do in that situation? Who performed in the big moment?
So
Who
do they have
performed
head-to-heads in the playoffs, CD?
No. Remember when this vote is.
So do they have head-to-heads in the playoffs too, or not?
But let me ask you a question. What was the score in the playoffs versus the score in week 3 or 4 whenever y'all played them? It was a whole different story.
Who were we missing? Yo, hey, who were we missing on defense on week 3? Hey, who were we missing on defense?
That was
Let's not look. Let's not pretend that didn't play a role, because when Buffalo had all of those guys back during the playoff game, what happened? We won. We won, my friend. That's exactly what it was. Let's stop pretending that us losing our starting safety, both of our starting linebackers, and our slot corner during that game played no effect and serves no excuse. When you saw all of those guys returning for the playoff game, and lo and behold, Buffalo wins.
Wow.
It's got to be something. Let's stop ignoring that.
Who was missing week 3? Who was missing?
You had Taylor Rapp, you had Matt Milano, you had Terrell Bernard, and Taron Johnson. We had our starting linebacker core completely out. Of course, Derrick Henry is going to be running all over Joe Andreessen. It's true. Ask ChatGPT. Ask ChatGPT who on the defensive side of the football was missing on week 3. We had 4 of our starters against defense. It's how it is.
Who scored the most points last year offensively in the league?
So was the Buffalo Bills with playoffs combined.
With playoffs combined, you see,
we were number 2 only to the Detroit Lions. We scored more points than Baltimore.
See that? So Dan, the reason why I said that is last week without you here, I don't know if you saw this or heard from this.
Yeah,
we were having a Buffalo Bills conversation, and I said that the Buffalo Bills had the most points scored in the NFL last year.
It's true.
And I'm like, Dan was the source of that. And then the chat started calling me out. Richie, you're giving us false information. That ain't true. You learn ball. I'm like, what do you mean that's not true? I thought that's what Dan said that, and I looked it up, and it wasn't Lions.
Playoffs combined, we scored the most
playoffs combined part.
Fifth.
I guess I didn't. I think that's where you lost.
We got to fact check Dan around here, y'all. I don't know, man.
Well, folks, luckily Google is free.